How you doing? No, not that live. this live.
Oh.
Oh. Hey.
How's it going?
Well, good day, everyone, and hopefully you're having a wonderful Monday.
Hey.
Listen to his voice. Apparently, he licked a frog's butt between Facebook earlier today and now.
I guess. I don't know.
Did you have Corona over the weekend?
Yes. Yes, I did. A lot.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, tonight at 6:30, as usual, Facebook, we're going to have a big show tonight. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. And that's, hold on. Let me flip it around and give you the better view. Look at that. We got lighting. We got Mel's car. Where can they find pictures of this, Mel?
All on Instagram.
That's a good place. We're there.
Yep.
Got a name?
Yep, under Team Phoenix Gold.
Team Phoenix Gold. There you go. Head over there. He's got some woofers in the back, and oh look, is that unlocked?
It is unlocked.
All right, hold on.
All right, that would be cool.
Nope. Look at this. Look at these. On his trip here, he got. Is this first place? No, it's first place, right?
It is.
First place. He's got some little woofers in the back there that you can't see that go bang really loud. But head over to the Instagrams after here, and you can check it out. But we're getting ready for the show. We're going to have some fun as the seats are sitting out to the side. We have blue tape on the ground so that everyone can bring their seats in. We're going to bring each one of these cool Phantoms up individually. We got a ton of product to talk about. Look at that. There's the new Height 10. Echo Master. You guys always ask about backup cameras. We got a ton of them here to look at. We got the new Phoenix Gold MX 800.5. We're going to be doing a video on this here real soon. So stay tuned for more on that. And then we have the new ATV radio in the flesh, looking all shiny. We're going to learn more about that stuff. We got these guys here. And Captain America went out to get a drink, but we'll learn more about these guys for those of you that are new and didn't get to see them last year. And then, of course, we have Mel.
What do you think about that, Mel? What do you think, Dean? I'll turn it over back to you.
I don't think about anything. So anyways, that's the show tonight, 6:30. We're getting ready. We're getting everything set up. We have the mic here on the floor so that we can get the whole audience. We're going to different little perspective here. You guys are going to be seeing this. Who's excited? What do you think of a Hayphonics Brutus Power Focal Flax, or should I get something else? Anybody heard the new Focal Flax Evos yet?
No.
You ever heard the Focal Flax?
Yes.
They're better. The Evos are freaking awesome. But if I was going to power them, I would probably go for something a little bit different than a Hayphonics. I would probably get up maybe the next tier above that, just because. Hi from Brazil. What's going on? Toshlink out on newer head units. Yeah, that would be cool. Do we have the back of that radio?
Yeah, it's fine. Yep.
Oh, yeah, look at that. So here's the Heighton. And this one does have the Toshlink output. Where's that? Here, I was going to say, let's not destroy Jeff's thing. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah, so there it is. There's the infamous Toshlink output on the back.
That is variable.
Yes, it goes up and down with the volume. We'll learn more about that tonight. So for those of you guys that are going to be chiming into the Facebook page, obviously, questions, just sit back and watch the beginning of the show and let us learn about the new products. Both you and I will be learning about the products tonight because some of this stuff, especially the cameras, they brought some cameras I've never even seen before, so that's going to be cool. So just sit back and enjoy and watch that. And then once we get done with all that, we'll take it to questions. But remember, the questions have to be AMP Global related. Otherwise, we're just going to kick back and talk and have a good time. But if you have good questions like, AMP Pro, so we have PAC, we have Phoenix Gold, we have Echo Master, we have Stinger, a lot of the Stinger X stuff. So there's a lot of fun stuff that we can talk about. So that'll be the page tonight. The Facebook page is, of course, 5-Star Car Stereo. You can find us there. 6:30, we go live every Monday night. It's a lot of fun. And, of course, if you missed the show on Facebook, don't worry. Tomorrow, you'll see it on YouTube. And then eventually you'll see it cut up into small pieces, put on the new channel, which is Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. That's the newest YouTube channel for you guys to enjoy. That way, if you don't have time to watch a whole hour show, you can watch just the cool little important stuff that we got and skip all the fun part. Hey, my Camry, when I connect into Bluetooth, the volume gets lower. Two things. One, you have to make sure your phone's volume is turned all the way up. And two, because that's important. It uses the volume from your phone to control it. So if the volume on your phone is low, then the output is going to be low. And 2, if it's an aftermarket radio, there will be a feature in the settings that allows you to go up and do source level control. So when you're on like FM, that's master level, and then if your phone has a weak output, you can go and turn it up a couple dBs louder. Subscribe to that, definitely. Thanks, Mike. All right. Do you think there's something wrong with my amp? Oh, the Hyphonics amp? No. I just, if you're going to buy Focals, I mean, I get it. Sometimes the speakers cost more than the amp. That's not a thing.
You can put it on, that's fine.
But, if it were me, there's nothing wrong with running that amp. It's going to do the job, okay? But there are better amplifiers out there. Just like you're buying a better speaker, you might want to buy a better amplifier. I mean, you could put Pirellis on anything, I suppose. I used to have them on my mom's Hyundai, but it really wasn't the car. She didn't need them. She wasn't getting the benefit of those. It's something like that. Can't find a T-harness for a 2019 Corolla hatchback, non-JBL. I just want to add a subwoofer. 2019 Toyota. Yeah, not yet. You can't find a T-harness Toyota. Is it? No, it's. Oh, yeah, but no. You don't need the T-harness. Just get the regular plug. So if you go to metroonline.com, you have a 70 whatever, and then you have 71 whatever. No, it's the new one. It's the new one that we just did. 71. But it's a whole. It's not. But go there, back to there, and look at and buy the 2 harnesses. You can make your own T-harness. Would you buy up the Focal K2 3-ways? Yeah, if you have the power for it, definitely. You can do that passively through the crossover if you don't have the big DSP or you don't have an amplifier. But yeah, you can totally do that. And it sounds really, really good. All right, guys, listen. We're going to cut it short there because I need to finish getting everything set up. We'll see you in a little bit. Have a great day. Bye. What's up, sicko? His 5-star live. It's like weird, right?
What?
You're seeing yourself, see yourself, see yourself, see yourself.
Hello, buddy.
With that froggy voice. Good day, everyone, and I hope everyone is having a spectacular Friday. Is it a Friday? Boy, you know where my mind is. I wish it was Friday. It's Tuesday. Yeah, at almost 6 o'clock. Yeah, that'd be great, right?
Yeah.
I know, the day is almost complete, and it's still light out. Yeah. I'm excited. So this will be the first night of light time running.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait, even though it's overcast, which is kind of just driving me crazy.
Good.
But yeah, I'm super excited to be there, or going to be there.
That's right. What's up, Brian?
So the other thing that kind of threw me off is do you remember what video we did the ARC thing in? What video was that? The end of Brian's video where we were talking about giving away the ARC box?
Yes, that's in the end of the why.
Because I thought somebody commented that they wanted the ARC box there, and I went back to look for it today and it wasn't there. So if you're interested in winning the ARC box, okay, hold on, this guy right here. If you're interested in winning the custom built, autographed, not the dash kit, this guy, ARC audio box. If this is what you want, if this is what you're waiting for, and you want to have it, I got the box right there. You just saw to send it out. Go over to the Saturday show where we had Brian on from ARC and Brian Mitchell. Comment, just leave a comment. I really want the ARC box. Okay, I'll give you guys till tomorrow to do it, or I'll give you a couple days to do it, and then I'm gonna pick somebody and they're gonna win it. So just leave a comment. I want the ARC box, and that's it. No big deal. Hey Dean, how does the Meza compare to the Sennheiser HDs? They sound better now that I have better pads on them. They definitely feel better. They're lighter. I really like them. But the HD ones are wireless. The problem with those is that the headband is just miserable. The headband is terrible unless if you got hair, you're probably okay. But like I had to put a custom headband on it because it was just digging into my skull. But I wear the Mezas now, and I 4 or 5 hours a night, and they just feel really good. So it's almost like, and the cable's nice and long, So I'm really enjoying those right now. They're my new favorites. I have some Sennheisers out in the office that I was using to edit the videos for Dean and Fernando's car stereo clips, the new YouTube channel. What?
It's not there.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. But anyways, Dean and Fernando's car stereo clips. I edit those out in the office because it's a different computer that I use to do those, and I was using the Sennheisers, and it takes about 2 hours to go through and edit a show. And after wearing those for about 4 or 5 hours, I really wanted to walk out into the living room where I keep my mezzas and grab those and wear those. So this has been headphone talk with Dean. Sorry, we'll get back to the car stereo stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah? Well, the car stereo stuff. Yes, I want the box. I want to make a coffee table. Either way, go to the Brian Mitchell video. Just leave a comment that says, I want the box. That's it. That's all you got to do. I want the box. I'll give you till Friday. All right? So we'll give you guys till Friday. That way we can get it out on Monday, get it gone. So if anybody's interested in that, just go back to that video, comment, I want the box. That's it. And we'll pick somebody and it'll be theirs. Do the Rockford Prime Series speakers offer any mid-bass doing a budget build now? The 6.5 isn't bad. 6.5 is not bad, especially the center point one. Obviously the component's the same thing, but they're not bad. For what you pay for those things, really the shocker out of all this, the ones that have the most mid-bass that we found, is the Kicker new CS Golds. Those are silly. So something to think about. If you're a Rocker fan, obviously go that way. Otherwise, check those out. What would you compare the JBL Bass Pro hub to in the spare tire? We just did one in that 928 last week. And what would you think? Like an 8-inch? Downfire an 8-inch, maybe?
Downfire an 8, no.
I don't know. And that car was impressive as hell. More, you think?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking,
Dude,
what
we
about...
put it in my car, and we got like what?
We got 110 dB out of it.
110 dB.
Was it 110?
Out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
was it 110? Was it 110 or 118?
No, 110.
110?
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that. But anyway,
It's nice.
it is.
I tell you right now, if you're in a car where you're sitting in the, like, it's going to go like a hatchback or an SUV or something like that, it's very impressive. If it's got to be in the trunk, like in his
really
car,
tight.
you got to bolt that. That's the other thing, too. It has to be bolted to the car. It has to couple with the floor of the car. But
117, nice. There you go.
yeah, it's really nice. I wouldn't kick it out of bed. Is there a significant sound quality difference between the Pack Amp Pro and the Nav TV piece for the 18 Silverado? Well, it's not a sound quality difference per se, because like the Nav TV, the Nav TV piece. Oh, I was thinking the other way around.
Which one?
So the Nav TV piece, like we did in the Camaro, versus just an Amp Pro.
With the Nav TV, you can go.
No, with the Nav TV piece, you have to take the amp out. Oh no, it was the Corvette. No, you had to keep the amp.
Yeah.
No, honestly, no. I didn't think there was that big. I don't even think there was a difference. Yeah, because you got to keep the amp for both of them. Just go Pack. In this, okay, so the one advantage of the Nav TVs over the Pack is it does have more outputs. So if you just want more, if you're like doing more than 6, but if you're going to a DSP, it really doesn't matter, like we were. And they both have Toshlink outputs, so that doesn't matter. Yeah. In subwoofer, okay. Subwoofer, is it better to get a subwoofer with a higher dB sensitivity rating or a lower sensitivity rating, or does it even matter in the subwoofer? Typically, if you're going to find something with a high dB rating, you're going to have lower power handling because it's more sensitive and it just does more, so... I mean, yeah, it would matter. Let's say if you got like 300 watts and you want your subwoofer to be like super loud, then yeah, that would be a bad idea. But if you got like 1,000 watts, no, get a woofer that can handle the abuse of 1,000 watts.
Yeah.
Being that is different. Oh, yeah, I would just go with the Amp Pro. Love you guys. Clean wire install. Much respect. Speaking of that, if you guys like Clean Wire and you'd like to be part of the club, make sure to go over to Facebook and sign up for 12 Volt Clean Wire Club. That's all you got to do to just say, I want to be a member. You can post pictures of your clean wiring. You can look at other people's clean wiring and get ideas for your clean wiring. You can ask questions if you see somebody that did a really cool job. You never know. Or you might find an installer in your area that does clean wiring and you want to have them do the clean wire in your car. Do you EQ the sub when tuning? Of course we EQ the sub when tuning. Why wouldn't you? It needs to be EQ'd sometimes. Sometimes, you don't want the sub to play flat, so yeah, and sometimes the sub might sound ringy and there's some goofy stuff that can go on with the subwoofer. So yeah, we always add a little bit of EQ. Everything gets a little salt and pepper. Going up. Hola, amigos from Mississippi.
Hey.
What's up, guys? A little late today. Cool, in my house with good Wi-Fi. There you go, Victor. See, and here we are. We're doing a show. Doing a show just for you, Victor. Doing a show just for you. Actually, we've been busy. We had a rough day today. We were working on this. This is, speaking of Nav TV, this is Nav TV. But I love this. German cars, they don't like backup cameras at all. So this car is 2016. Got it on Carvago or whatever that is, and it had no backup camera, so Nav TV had to put a backup camera in here. This is not a fun dash to get apart, I'll tell you that right now. So yay, but it's all done. Life is good. And there again, when we talk about backup cameras, so this is brand new, so this tag doesn't matter, but one thing you got to keep in mind, like he wanted to put the camera in the factory spot, which is like right here. And to get it in, of course, you got to take all this stuff off, and it drills right here. But this, as you can see, this is the center of the car. Camera here, all right? So now this is your focus point right here. So as you back up, all right, that focus point, if this is where it's supposed to be, it's now over here, which means this wall is wrong and that wall is wrong. So when you're backing out, if you're thinking it's the center of the camera and it has those cool lines that sit there like this, but you're not there, this is not the center. So what do? You clip this wall, or you clip that wall, or you pull into the parking lot sideways. So you always want to make sure you get that camera in that center location. Now the next question is, well, how do the manufacturers of the cars get around it? Because they can crop the screen, okay? The other thing too is, if you angle the camera just right, there is always going to be one focus point, let's say 15 feet out. That'll be a perfectly straight, that'll be good if that's where the camera's focused to. So they have ways around doing that so that you get better results when they mount the camera off axis. But most of the time they're just cropping, zoom in and crop, because they can do that. We're not that cool yet. I've been asking for that feature on radios for a while, and they all look at me like, why would you want to do that? I'm like, why wouldn't you want to do that? That would be awesome. Stuck between these two components, which one would you recommend? We'll be running 75 watts, the Morel Maximo or the Focal Performance. Those are like Republicans and Democrats. I'm not going to lie, man. Morel is going to be smooth, soft, very natural sounding, and the Focal is going to have an accentuated tweeter, be very bright and very, very sharp. Both of them are going to sound exceptional and have great quality to them. It's just those are the differences. It's all in that tweeter, and we all know that I'm a Morel fan and he's a Focal fan, so it's all right. Will 75 times 6 watts JL amp work well with Focal Flax 3-way components if I'm going active on an audio controlled DSP? Do I need capacitors on the tweeters and mid-range channels? Yes, the 75x6 should be plenty for those Flax 3-way sets. No, if you have the crossover set up properly, there should be no reason to add those capacitors to the speaker. So there again, if you want to know how to set up a crossover, you can Google it, or you can download or go, what is it? Which tool is that? So what you need is the FS of the speaker, and then of course for the tweeter you get the FS, multiply it by 2. But if you'd like to read more on that, if you download the owner's manual for the IMSG, that's the Steve Meads SMD IMSG. When Tony wrote the manual for that, Tony D'Amore, he did a really good job of explaining how to use the FS to get the proper crossover points for your speakers. So without us doing a whole dissertation on it, just go download his owner's manual and read it. The tool will give you those things, but the owner's manual should also give them to you. So as long as you have those numbers, you're perfect. Where is that Fosgate light y'all had on the wall? I need that for my garage. I don't know where that went. Did that end up in the storage? It's probably in our storage. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't mine, so I had to give it back. Okay, hang on. Release date on new downfiring kicker boxes. They're out right now. You can get them. We should bring those over. We gotta do a review on those. The new downfiring boxes with the passive radiator. Maybe if we remember, we'll bring them Saturday and we'll show them on the show. That'd be something cool because I've been meaning to bring those over. Replacing Infinity Bose center points with Focal 3-way active Audison. Ooh, or something else. No, that sounds really good. Feel the love, Dean. Of course you do, Victor. What's up, Dean and Fernando from Kentucky? Sorry I missed. It was the clean wiring thing called. It's the 12-volt Clean Wire Club is the Facebook. And then if you'd like to get part of the new YouTube channel that we have, which is just the clips, that's Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. If you do a channel search, you should be able to find that. And the whole idea behind that was taking these long hour shows that we do and cutting those into just the questions. So now you can just watch a recap of it. Like I just did one the other day. It was a Saturday show. There was 15 questions that we answered. So, and they're all like between, a minute and a half to 2 minutes. So you can just boom, get out. And of course you miss all the, all the fun and jokes and the good times we have. But that was the only problem when you are backing up. Okay. Yeah, well, it's, of course, backing up sucks. All right, let me zoom down here. When are you using TechFlex? What size do you use for the wiring, especially the ground and power? Okay, when are we using it? All day, every day. If there's a piece of wire going in a car, it's getting tape or it's getting TechFlex. It's a bit silly. But what we have here is we get this stuff. We get this from Electroduck. You can find it on the internets. It's also the supplier of Amazon. But this is the part number here. And this is 3/4. 3/4 is great for RCAs and 0 gauge power wire. Next up is going to be 1/2 inch. There again, that's the part number there. Same place. 1/2 inch is good for 4 gauge if you want it to be nice and loose and flexible, as well as, there again, RCAs. This is also good for USBs, depending on which one you have. And then we have the last one that we use here the most of, and this is the 3/8. 3/8 is good for 4 gauge, 8 gauge. On the 4 gauge, it's going to be a little tight, but it's still nice. So like ground short runs like that don't need to be super flexible, we'll use this. And then we also have it in red, and then we have, that's 3/8 red, and then that's 3/8, 1/2 inch red, and then that is 1/8 inch blue for remote turn on, and this is also, is this 1/4 inch? This might be 1/4 inch. Yeah, I think this is 1/4. This is 1/4 for like remote turn on wire, speaker runs, and stuff like that. And then, of course, we get all these from Wire Care. So these are all the 5-star stuff. And we get them in 2 different sizes now. So we get the small one for the 8 gauge, and we get the big ones for the 4 gauge and 0 gauge. And these are all 3-to-1, 3-to-1 shrink.
The hot knife.
The hot knife. Yeah, so this is the hot knife here. We have this. You can find the hot knife that we use on DNF Tool Drawer. So if you go over to dnftooldrawer.com, you can find the hot knife. Basically what this does is you turn it on, you let it sit for a minute, and then we're going to do this magically right here and try not to hurt ourselves.
Right here.
You going to do it?
Yeah.
All right. So, and then you just drop it over like that. Oh, easy there, killer. Dude, slow it down, man. You pay for this stuff by the foot. We see this? So what you end up with is, if you're careful, this will, see how that gives you a nice end, it won't unravel. If
you turn it off.
Yeah, make sure you turn it off. Yeah, if you ever smell something weird, you're like, hey, what's that? Here, hold this for me. Actually, so the other trick is, the other trick is if you do have, pull it up some. If you do have to cut it with a scissor, like that, then what you want to do is take your torch.
Yep.
Okay, and you have to be real careful. Hold on. You gotta like do that. And then what I like to do is take it and I just push it onto here. Just tap it like that. And that'll keep it from fraying up. It doesn't do as nice of a job as that, but there you go. I know. Thank you, Ada. I am a hot knife. Are there any RTA apps you recommend for the phones, or just get a real one? I'm a firm believer in just get a real one. However, anything from Studio 6 is pretty awesome. You can get their RTA app and plug in like the iTest mic or the new mic that they have, which is this guy right here. If you're just looking to do audio, keep in mind these just do audio, so they have the new. Why is it looking at me? Hold on. They have the new U-Test mic that is there again from Studio 6. And here's all the information on that and how it works. It comes with everything you need. Now, the only problem is with like this is only for audio. It'll only do audio. Now, you can also get, if it's still available, this guy. This is the Dayton. There again, see, I'm not a total Dayton hater. This is the Dayton little mic that they make, Dayton Audio. That'll work, but obviously you'll have to get a Lightning unless you got an Android phone. And then you have the Audio Frog. This is probably the best value, the UMI 1 in this box. The CD that it comes with alone is worth the $200 that it comes with, but it comes with all the connections for your laptop. And then, of course, you have to download the free RTA software that they recommend, and that works as well. But that is, there again, more for audio. If you want to do electrical, you're going to have to spend some bucks.
All right, read.
Read?
Yes.
What am I reading?
Do you use the passive crossovers that came with the component set if you are going into the DSP?
It's funny you should mention that. We just, there again, on the new channel, 12 volt clips. On the new channel, Dean and Fernando's car stereo clips. That question gets asked a lot on Saturdays. That gets asked a ton. And there's actually, I think, 2 different answers to that question that we put up there. So now the nice thing about that channel is we've made it so things like that are searchable. But the short answer to that is, if you have, let's say, 4 channels of audio, so you have front, you have rear, and you're doing a set of components up front and a set of coaxials in the rear, and you're planning on amplifying all of them. Well, then, what you have to have is crossovers for all 6 speakers, meaning you have to have a crossover for the bottom of the mid-range for the rear, the bottom for the mid-range for the front doors, a top for the mid-range in the front door, and a bottom for the tweeter. Now, what I mean by bottoms are the actual crossover points. A mid-range has a high point and a low point that it's capable of playing, and a coaxial does too, but it's built onto the speaker. So, if you have a DSP and you only have 4 channels, but you have 6 speakers, that means you're not going to be using the DSP for those crossovers on the front speakers. You're going to be using the passive crossovers. Can you still set up time alignment? Yeah, set it up for the mid-range. It'll work fine. There you go. Audio Frog is the one I was looking at. Thank you, as always. You guys are the best. We appreciate you. Oh, you're welcome. Dean, have you become very proficient at holding the camera with one hand and using the other hand to do something else? That could be bad. That could be construed very badly. I should say, I hear why Fernando is not saying much. Yeah, he's doing... We kept him far away last night during the live show. He sat over at the TV because, those guys all travel, and I'll just catch his cooties. It's okay. What backup camera do you recommend for cold weather? I have a pretty low quality, and it doesn't work past 40 degrees. Echomaster.com. Just head over there. They have like 500 different cameras to choose from. You can find one that will work. Frostbite box will be here tomorrow. That is freaking awesome. Make sure, if you need a truck box or you want a real pretty, like 112 or 210s or something like, if you want a real pretty box, head over to frostbite.com and pick one up. Good friends of the show. They make exceptional boxes. Make sure you ask for the 5-star edition. And what they'll do is they'll put a logo in it for you. So we still have the red one sitting right here, looking all sexy. Yeah, this is for 4.8s. So they'll do that. This is for the Ford. So this was a first-gen Ford. So now they actually put a logo right here saying what it is. And you can also get the 5-star logo. And, of course, you can get it in any color you want. They also make a ported version of this box now. They have a cool port that goes on the side. That's what we put in the Raptor that we did. We had it made for 2 T1 Rockford Shallows 10s. Ooh, and it pounded. So, and it's just pretty. Everybody likes pretty. Too much partying. Actually, it's as it turns out, it was too much partying. He went and played. He went to do
Played
pool,
pool.
and of course, everyone was smoking
In the inside, man.
in the inside. Yeah, and so he didn't think about it, and of course,
Until
so
the next day.
now
Like,
he's
wow.
got emphysema. Tennis solar barrack and a ported trunk enclosure. What components and coaxial speakers should I got with going to 2015 Honda Pilot? Well, okay, so there again. If it's a Honda, you're going to need that shallow mount speaker. You might want to stick with kicker and go with those KSs because those KSs will fit in the Honda. They fit in the Hondas like a dream, man. They're like, yeah, let's do those. There's no work involved. So something to think about. If I'm going to sound deaden and fast ring and use amp power, I'm giving those Fosgate Prime components the best chance.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you're definitely setting those up for success.
Yes.
Anytime you do that, no matter what speaker it is, the term shining a turd, you could throw that out there, but it's going to be the shiniest turd on the block. And there again, it's not picking on the Prime. I set up a system today that we're going to be doing in a couple weeks. Guy came in with a BMW, and it's like there was two speakers that we could go with. And this is what sucked, is because one was the Prime and one was the Prima. And you know me, when two things sound too similar to one another, it gets really confusing really fast. But the nice thing about the Primes is that they're very shallow and that the cone is set in, and it's like the perfect speaker for this BMW. So we set up a full Prime system. I can't wait to do it because it is going to rock and sound great. What do you think of ground shaker boxes? I don't think I've looked at those. I know what you're talking about, but I really haven't done much. Johnny, what's up? Make sure Fernando's running make sure he's not running a fever. May have to isolate him. He is isolated in the install bay with me. That's as isolated he's going to get.
That's it.
Suggestions to upgrade the sound in 2015 Odyssey with the dual screen and leave the factory radio. I mean, you could pretty much do anything you want. If you're looking for simple, loud, check out the Focal integration or those. There again, just figure out a budget and we'll go from there. What type of sound do you get on the Kicker KS? Very nice. It's very like Haley has them in her car and we've done several cars since then, and it's nice. I like it. It's nothing. I don't really even have a way to explain it. You just get in and enjoy it. It's one of those cars. What's up?
Johnny.
Oh, Johnny, what? Oh, Johnny, say something funny? Oh, Fernando, it's Corona times. What hen did you recommend for an 08 Wrangler Sierra? So, funny part.
Sierra or Sahara?
Sahara, my bad.
Hey.
Sahara, Sierra, really?
Close.
Close enough. Prima, Prime, what's the difference? Double the money.
Yeah.
All right, Alpine makes the best brackets for that. They make, and if there we did, that's a video on Dean and Fernando's car stereo clips. That was actually the first video I edited for that, was talking about the Jeep brackets, and there's a link to the Jeep brackets in the description of the video. But short chassis is nice. Honestly, the Kenwood Exelon. A lot of people like the Sonys. You could get if you really want to get a nice radio, get the big Jeep radio. But the only ones I don't like are the Pioneers, because especially like the fixed Pioneers that don't have motorized screens, is that the radios are too thin and the kits just don't look good. So.
All right.
You good?
Yes.
You good? Is it time to go? It's time to go. All right, guys, we're going to cut it there so we can get home and have some fun. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you back here with 5 Minutes of 5-Star. Make sure you go and like all those channels on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, which ones?
12-volt Clean Wire Club and Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. On YouTube. Just do channel search and subscribe.
Yes.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, easy there. Do you pity the fool?
What?
Do you pity the fool? Do you pity the fool? Okay, so why are you wearing it around your neck? Who are you trying to look like?
The guy that they lift with a change.
You're not trying to look like Mr. T?
Oh, that was a kid. No.
Yeah. I mean, that's, you You ain't the Rock.
I need a mohawk.
I mean, you got the right skin color, but yeah, it's about where it ends.
It's the same type. You see me?
Yeah, don't be a fool. I pity the fool who wants to wear zero gauge around their neck. That was terrible. That was so bad. Anyways, good day, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday. And try.
Thursday.
What is no? Today's Wednesday.
I know.
I was gonna say, shut up, man. Today's Wednesday. Slow it down. The Fernando big chain looking like Sir Mix-a-Lot. There you go. Put it on the glass, baby. Posse's on Broadway. Damn, that's not cheap necklace. No, that's 20 feet of cheap right there. And that's what it's going in. This is going into this guy right here.
What is that?
Who can name that car? I know some of you guys will be able to tell me what that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just by looking at that engine bay. I like big speakers and I cannot lie. Yeah, that's a good one. And Johnny for the win. Look at that. Johnny, of course, I knew Johnny would know because I know they drive these jacked up all through Texas, over there in Wiley, Texas. STI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what we're working on today is, shocking what color it is. I know. He's already got the fuse holder in place here. And we also upgraded the factory ground. That's what this is going, because this is the factory ground right here. It's a little tiny 8 gauge. I'm working on this, which is the battery, which is going to go in the corner of the car. Mm-hmm. So this just fits. There's screw down points. Yeah, World Rally Blue, baby. So we have our screw down points for it already in place. So the battery goes in, it screws in, battery slides in on top. Now, a helpful hint. Could you give me a hand for a second, Fernando?
What's that?
Give me a hand for a second.
Just one hand?
Just one hand. You might want to. This thing's kind of heavy. So this is the pro tip for the day. When you're pull the battery out of the case for me, just lift it straight up. Just the battery, not the case. Leave the case. There's handles here, here, and here. You really hard. All right. So if you look down in here, see this piece of plastic? See how it has these little indentions on it? When you're going to screw this thing in, typically you're going to screw it here, every corner. And the problem is that it's going to have screws, which are going to dig into the bottom of this plastic case. You don't want that because eventually what will happen is it'll leak. So cut yourself a little 1/8 inch piece of plastic and then drop it in over those screw holes. Cut yourself a finger hole. And now when you drop that in, you'll have a nice flat area for that battery to sit on, and you won't have to worry about wearing out the bottom of the battery. So there's your pro tip, and then when you need to get the battery out, it easily lifts out of place. As you can see, this has only been in there for 10 minutes. But that thing is heavy, as you saw Mr. McFingers there. By the way, see these right here? This and this? These are the handles to lift it out. You don't have to gorilla onto here. You can grab it just like that. That's why those are there. Just letting you know. Anyways, so we got this new concept fuse holder that the customer provided. I'm pretty excited about it. I like this. And it was funny because I just saw one of these this week on Instagram. Someone was using one of these. So we're running dual 0 gauge off of the battery, off of here into these. And then this first one here is going to be our fuse from the front. So that'll be our fuse. This middle one here, which is smaller, this is going to be our 4 gauge output going to our 4 channel. And then this big guy here is another 0 gauge, will be going out to our bigger amp, which there's some scars. So this is like a scar system. This is something we don't get all that into. But we have some scar amps here somewhere. But it's a Scar SK 1501 and then the 400. And he's going with some of these 4-ohm thingies here that are loud in the door. And then tweeters. I don't know where the tweeters are. I haven't seen the tweeters. We're doing some Neo tweeters. We'll show you more of the tweeters and all that stuff tomorrow once we get a little bit further along. Oh, they're the tweeters. So these are the Neo tweeters. Now, one thing that's important about these tweeters right here, okay? And this is, when these things first started coming out, this is where everything got screwed up. This here, make sure it is not on the opposite of this here. A lot of these, when these first came off, because this comes apart, these would sit over this. And you can easily adjust it by just pulling these 4 screws and rotating it and then screwing it back in. But what would happen is if these would sit over that, when you would screw in your top bracket, you would short it out. So, and that's just not for Scar. That is for every manufacturer that uses this, and everybody uses this tweeter. So always, if you're going to put these in, check where your screw points are. All right. What do we got here? Are you guys answering questions? Well, if you're asking and we have time, of course we're answering. There, I answered your question. Ask cardio fabricator. What amps? How many watts for the Subaru? So, what was that, 15? And the other one is an 800, I think. Hold on. 800.4 and a 1500.1. So that's 2300 watts using basic math. And so it's going to be, we're also putting a DSR1 in that's going to just do the crossover and equalization. No time limit, obviously. This is made to be loud. And we'll show you the box tomorrow because it's a big sucker. Big box. All right, let's scroll down here to the end. When did you get the front? Oh, where did you get the front car protection? Hey, Fernando.
Yes, sir.
Where do we get our front car protection from?
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not on DNF Tool Drawer?
Oh, well, where do you get it?
Well, we get them off Amazon.
There you go.
And we have them listed on DNF Tool Drawer. So if you go to DNF Tool Drawer, we have all our stuff. So the big mats here, we have two different kinds. We have the big suckers, which is this. That's the brand right there. This big guy right here. And then we have the littler ones that are just, for over the fender. But yes, they're both on DNF Tool Drawer. You can find them there. I missed it. How did you make the indents in the ABS on the battery box? So basically what this is, oh, hold on, it's still looking at me. Basically what the indents are for is to protect the bottom of the battery from these screw points. So you put a screw here, you put a screw here, or you drill these, whatever. You're putting screws inside of this to hold it in place. And the problem is that those screw heads are going to stick up and they're going to wear on the bottom of this battery, and eventually they'll break through the plastic and kill your battery. So by putting just a thin piece of plastic in there, allowing those screw heads to eat up this cheap piece of plastic, you won't have that problem. And there you go, Mike. If you were to get a custom box for a P310, what tuning frequency would you prefer? Honestly, if you go onto their website, they have remember what it's called? Large power, big box. They have the big box. They have like 3 different boxes listed for ported. Get the big one. And that thing sounds incredible. That's what we built for Fernando's 8-inch in his car. That's why it's a little bit bigger. But as Fernando said this morning, how do you like that 8-inch in your car?
I love it. That's the only thing I need.
You just want more front stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on it, buddy.
Yeah.
I know. I really enjoy when it all tied down on the platforms. I love them and need to figure something out like that. Okay. Can you do a video on how wire speed wire on a car plug side? I think there is some. But yeah, I know what you're saying. They're hard to find. We'll work on it. Alpine R Series versus Hertz, or do something comparable? Hertz. Do Hertz. Do Hertz. All the way. All the way. So price point wise, probably the R types are going to be comparable with like the Cento Pros. If you have the money, I would save up to go with the Millis. You're going to really like those, but the Cento Pros are very nice as well. Dean, can I send you a set of components? Can you make me some brackets for them? It just depends what you mean by that. We'd have to talk more. Johnny, the plastic mold from the weight on the battery. Yes, the plastic, that's what I was pointing out. Those screws, that was after like 15 minutes that battery sitting on top of those screws. So now over the lifetime of the battery of those screws, the weight of the battery and it just rubbing on the bottom of the battery, it's going to pop right through the bottom of the battery and you're going to leak out of the bottom of the battery and then the battery will be no good. And so yeah, you definitely want to do that. Where have you added a ground from the F-150 to the frame for the F-150? We haven't added one. We just go right to the battery. It's just from right to the battery. There's no point adding more ground. It's not going to help anything. We just run a 0 gauge or 4 gauge right there. And you know this, man. You know this. You know this, Brian. Come on, man. Did you just countersink the holes? No, there's no countersink. That's actually legit the weight of that battery. So these holes, there's nothing to countersink here because, like, we're going to put washers. This is metal. So we put washers here and the screws. So they're going to stick up. And regardless of where you go on here, you can't really countersink it because you need all that to hold. This sucker is heavy. So you're having to screw this thing down, and we have 4 screws in each one of these corners with washers to hold it so that, like, you can grab, once this is in place, you can grab this and shake the whole car. But there again, we want to make sure we don't screw up the bottom of the battery. Little plate in the bottom. Wanting to get the D6100 for some K2s. Is that too much power? No, definitely not. Wouldn't that be nice, Fernando? Some K2s on a 61200? Yeah? Yeah, ooh, yeah. They're turned kind of high. I think I'm going to have it tuned to 31 hertz. Go for it. I can just tell you that those things sound incredible, and you know the port you can always change. So if you're building the box yourself, just make the port slide in and out so that you can adjust it, build what they want, and then if you want it tuned differently, slide the port in and out. Ted4, thank you. Was looking at some CentOS. There you go. Factory head unit LC7i, 2 JLs. Bunch of power, components, some 6x9s, distribution blocks, 4 gauge, good build for a 2006 Fusion. Yeah, unless it has a Sony system. It has a Sony system, make sure you go with the Amp Pro or the DSR1 and the AR compatibility. The other thing you might want to think about, this is just a thought, the LC7i is a great piece. However, for a little bit more money, you can get into the LCQ1, which is going to give you an EQ onto it. So it's an LC7i with a 6-band EQ on front, rear, and a 5-band for sub. And it's not that much more, and then you could do some tuning. So maybe a couple bucks more and get that. Okay. Oh, hold on. For an 06 Suzuki Forenza base model. Oh, I don't know. I love the old 1991 Polka Audio Throughways. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, oops. When are you guys getting the Flax Evos? We've already had them. We've already put them in. We've already talked about them. Yep. You guys haven't seen the video on us talking about them. That video is going to start getting... Tonight is the Instagram 5-star recap video that's going to get edited for tomorrow. And then we start on the 911 Ford video, which I really don't want to do because it's like 3 Fords back to back and it sucks, but whatever. And the reason why I want to get that video out though is because we have the Evos in it and we talk all about the Evos. So yeah, I mean countersink the ABS. You can countersink the ABS if you want, but it's no point. Do those batteries fight each other when connected together? If you're driving the car daily, like this is a daily driver, and no, you're fine. You're going to be cool. The car's not going to sit long enough for an extended period of time to be an issue. Even if it sits for like a week, like you go on vacation, you're still going to be cool. Now, if it's one of those cars, it's like a car that's just going to sit all the time, like you drive it maybe once or twice a month, then definitely want to put in a relay between the two. It's commonly called an isolator now. It's not. It's just a giant relay which isolates the two batteries, which is just a play on words. But yeah, if it's something that's going to sit for an extended period of time, you would be smart to add in the relay. Gosh, I keep doing that. Will the Rockford Fosgate Punch Pro 6.5 fit in the rear doors of a 2015 Nissan Altima S? Will the 8-inch Rockford Fosgate shallows fit in the rear deck? And I'm going to go with no and probably no on both of those without a lot of work. Those loudspeakers are ginormous, and an Altima really isn't that big. Would you agree, Fernando?
Yeah, I mean, you have to test them.
I mean, it's going to be tight, and you're probably going to have to do some work to get them in there. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be tough. And that subwoofer, you're definitely going to have to make something because that's not a rear deck friendly subwoofer. Okay. My factory locations are 6.5 in the door and tweets in the A-pillar. Getting 6.5 components for 2011 Versa. Should I put tweets in factory locations or upper door panel? I personally would put them in the factory location. They'll be fine right there and they'll sound wonderful. That's where we'd be putting them. I'm not a big fan of drilling unnecessary holes in doors. Any suggestions on a great set of three-ways? I mean, the three brands that we carry are Audison and Hertz, which are two brands, but Audison and Hertz, Electromedia, Focal, and there again, they make a bunch of difference. You have Access. The one nice thing about Focal is they have the most price point conscious three-way set. So you have Access, Flax, and K2. Access is really, really affordable. And it's a three-way set that sounds great. And then, of course, we have the Morel, which is my personal favorite. Do you think the Mosconi is be too much power for a set of Flax three-ways? Is that 150 by 2? No. I mean, we've put way more than that on a set of three. We've put 280 watts to them. So, yeah, no. Dean, my Helix 512 is on its way. Hot damn. Good. When are you getting yours? It's honestly, it's not even on my list of things that I need to get right now. Is it something I want? Totally. But it's not there. I think we'd have to do some more work with those guys before they're all set for that. Love the new Facebook group, by the way. Oh, and thank you for bringing that up. Fernando, what's the name of our new Facebook group?
12-volt wiring club.
Never mind, Fernando.
Yeah.
12-volt clean wiring club. Fernando's still a little like, hey, what's going on, guys? Don't go to a bar this time of the year, especially in the current condition of, with that whole sickness thing going around, and then have people smoke and blow smoke in your face. It's a good way to get sick, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Live and learn. Anyways, for those of you that haven't heard of it yet, we have a new Facebook page that anybody can join. Anyone can post pictures, and you guys can show off all the cool wiring that you've done. That's right. It's a wiring page. 12-volt clean wire club. Mm-hmm. That way, it's not a fab page. There's no fab at all. We don't want to see fabs. We want to see pretty panels. We want to see behind the panels. So if you got clean wire, or you can appreciate clean wire, or you like clean wire, you get it. Go ahead, head over to Facebook, ask if you can join. Give us a little bit. We'll accept you, and we'll move on. You guys have really flocked to it. What are we at? How many do we have?
550.
Yeah,
something.
like 550 you guys have fallen in love with the page.
Yeah.
Now, we also have another page that we've started that is a YouTube page. Mm-hmm. Because shows like this that run long and have a ton of questions in them, and we obviously can't make that searchable. So what we came up with was Dean and Fernando's car stereo clips. So we take the long Facebook show and the long YouTube show, and we break those out into the individual questions so that you guys can ask, when you ask those simple things like how much power can I put on a set of Flax three-ways, and we go 260 watts. Those questions are up there, along with all the other questions that we had. So check it out. There's like 170 videos up there so far. Make sure you subscribe. That would be awesome. To find it, just go to Dean and Fernando's car stereo clips, but search for a channel. Don't do a generic search, because if you do that, you type in Dean and Fernando, you're going to get one of 1,000 other videos we've done. So you have to search for the channel. And of course, the icon for the channel is a cool 5-star logo that looks like an American flag.
Right.
Yay. What is the worst professional install you've had to redo? I mean, over the years, I mean, yeah,
I mean, we have plenty.
Yeah, I was going to say, before you started here, I had to do that Mustang, which was just horrible.
Well, even the Mustang that we did with the 9000 series amplifier.
That was a Camaro.
No, that was Mustang.
You sure? I thought that was a Camaro.
That's a Mustang.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, that was just depressing. Those were 8000s. That the
9000s.
No, that was 8000s. Yeah, it wasn't 9000s. It was 8000s. Either way, they crushed it. They ruined a really expensive set of RCAs by having crushed underneath the seat. Before he started, I had to redo a Mustang, and I mean, it was bad. They made door pods for it, and they didn't even match. So it was like one door pod on one side and another door pod on the other side. They weren't even the same, so I had to rebuild the door pods. And then he had like 10 amplifiers, and like 3 of them worked, and it was just a nightmare. It took for me to do the whole thing was about like a whole week. And yeah, it was ridiculous.
Crazy.
How is the weather over there? Kind of hot. So I think it's in the 80s right now. As you can see, it's sunny and bright and feels good. Like it. What's your opinion on Sur and Vega? I mean, I almost don't really have one. I don't have a problem with them. I think they're cool. Fernando appears to be showing signs of the corona. Yeah, we're all going to die. I just want to take that clip from Predator where the Indian goes, whatever's out there is hunting us, ain't no man. We're all going to die. And just like put that up because that's pretty much it. Can the headrest get the mirror image from a head unit, AV inputs from the radio, so the phone goes to the head unit? No, goes to the headrest. Nope, that's not how it works. So if you get so your phone puts out a copy protected output. So it either puts out like an HDMI or over the air. And that is all copy protected. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to take the HDMI that comes out of the phone and convert it over to RCAs. You can do that using the iSimple media links. Once you've done that, then you can feed it into your head unit. And if your head unit has the aux output, you could then take that and go off to a monitor in the back. And that would be the only way you could do it. There's no simple, like if your head unit has HDMI input, you plug your phone in, HDMI, the radio will not convert the HDMI signal to a standard RCA and go back to the headrest. So that won't work either. Yeah, so there's really no quick, easy way to do that. A component set on a 2015 WRX for the front doors and the factory wire that run from the door to the dash where the tweeter is located.
What?
I mean, okay, I don't really get the question. Victor, I found a good spot. How is Fernando doing today?
Good.
Yeah, he's all right. He's here.
Still working.
Yeah, he's working. I just don't want him to talk. Keep his throat nice and nice and good. All right, so there's a whole bunch. Ever run the power wire under the car? No. I mean, you can, but if you're going to run a power wire underneath the car, you have to make sure you're properly insulated. What you want to get is go to like Home Depot or Lowe's and get that exterior power wire tubing that's made to be buried in the ground and put it in that. That's the smartest way to do it. And with that, we're going to call it a night. I got to get back to work. I got to finish getting this battery all wired up. We just wanted to come on and give you 5 minutes of 5-star. All right, guys, you have a wonderful day. Remember, head over to Facebook, head over to YouTube, subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. See you tomorrow. Bye. Happy Thursday. Never say that. What's going on, everyone? Hey, Fernando, how you doing in there? He's alive. He's still alive. We've insulated him into the bathroom, so it's nice and safe there. What's up, car audio addicts? Hey, so what's going on, everyone? Welcome to this Thursday. So this morning was an interesting morning for us. What's up? We found out a couple things that are going to be... That's kind of a bummer, but I totally understand. Two things. One, we had 2 shows scheduled that we were going to be going to. One was DAS and one was Knowledge Fest Indy. Both of them have been... Indy is going to be rescheduled for July. So we're trying to figure out that because it's actually the weekend right before we leave for vacation. So we're coming up with some crazy cockamamie plans because we still want to go and still want to be there. Hey, from Sweden. And then DAS, which is the other show we were planning on, which was the one I was really looking forward to. We don't know when that's going to be rescheduled, but So right now we have no trips. Yep, 10th through the 12th. We're still on, Jeff. We're still going. So I was going to call you later and let you know we're still planning. I just have a real crazy flight schedule that we're going to do. So we're going to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, leave Saturday night. Anyways, it's a whole crazy thing. We'll talk about that apparently far from now. But, it makes sense with this whole... No, it doesn't make sense. The world right now is not the world. It's crazy. But we won't get into that because there's enough of that on the TV. What we got is, of course, we're still working on the Subaru. You guys remember this from yesterday. And for those who didn't catch in yesterday, hey, from Indy. What's up, Johnny? I was looking forward to being there. But we'll be there in July. We're still working on this. We got all the speakers in, and I just finished the amp rack, and I wanted to show it to you guys. So, which you'll probably see a photo of it at some point. So this is the amp rack here. It's attached to this. So the reason why it's attached to this is there's these 2 holes that are going to be here and one on the other side, and this can move because he still wants to be able to get to his spare tire underneath it. And if you notice, like, this corner is missing because the battery is in place. So the battery is physically mounted into the corner of the car. This carpet hasn't gone yet, but there is that. I like this. This is called the 2030, which is from, that other company. I'll figure it out in a minute. Anyways, what's really cool about this is you have those dual 0 gauge inputs. It's one piece, but we have two mounts here. So we needed a 250 amp fuse. So we have a 250 amp fuse here. This is coming from the battery up front. And then we have this going to our big amp. And then this is going to go to our little, this is 040. So this is really cool. That's in, of course, the ground is run. There's a hole here that I'm going to attach it to. And then, of course, like we were talking about yesterday, the panel comes out. See these 4 screws here? So those 4 screws with washers, we don't want those to dig into the bottom of our battery. We want them to dig into here. So this goes in. That's going to shield our battery from getting all messed up on the bottom of it. Let's go back. You made it out alive. Woo, there he is. Let's go back over here to the amp rack. So this is all set and ready to go. You guys have been asking this is heat shrink. All right, so what we have is 4-color heat shrink going off here, and then it goes into some loom, and then it terminates over here into our ends of wiring. We marked what's rear, what's front. This is going to connect to, we're going to solder this into another set of wires that's coming from the front of the car. So behind one of the panels will be some solder points. But what we have
4,000 series RCAs.
Yeah, those the RCAs are. And then because we put the amps on 1/2-inch risers, 2 reasons. 1, proper ventilation underneath the amplifier. And 2, we wanted to be able to have something to screw into. So like you'll see, like there's a screw here. That's what these are for. So this, along with this is a bump stopper for the box. So the box just doesn't jump up and smack the amplifiers. But this is also where we can screw in to hold this in place. So all these spacers allow us to come up from the bottom and attach in. So they're across the front here, and then they're underneath each amplifier, so that this whole area here is all one big piece, and we don't have to worry about it. Now, one other thing too that's really cool is where that battery goes over here, it actually sits, I made it a like 1/4 inch bigger, so this carpet actually goes up underneath it, and you don't see this seam. It all fits nice and clean and tight, which of course we'll take a picture of and show you. You have your 0 gauge. So how this went is you have your risers here for your 4 gauge, and then it comes down along here, and then it tucks. It's actually acting as the risers for our 0 gauge. So the 4 gauge went in first. It rises, it lifts this up enough so I don't have these at a real extreme angle getting all pinched, and it holds all the weight because these are heavy terminals. So then it all comes into here, and so as you can see, the 4 gauge is tucked up underneath it. One of the things I thought was funny about these amplifiers that of course kind of messes with my head is, as you'll notice, this is positive here. Oh, this is positive here. So they actually switch these, and that of course drives me nuts, but you know, whatever. Bass knob, RCAs. This is angled, so these all come along this angled piece here, and then out, remote turn-ons and whatnot all go in. 4000 series, zip tied up nice and tight. And then there again, there's that loom or the shrink wrap. We put them on the ends here so that we know what is what on these cables. The subwoofers, we don't do anything because then we know those are subwoofers. And then of course you have your ferrules on here. Positive, negative, all done up, looking pretty. There's also a riser underneath here to lift these up so that it didn't, because of the heat shrink, and then this just style of wire, it doesn't bend all that well. So the heat shrink and the lack of movement on this, putting a riser and getting it up a little higher, and then that allowed it to clear over these RCAs and remote turn-on wire. And then of course everything is done nice and uniform all the way across. And if you've seen it before, you want to make sure, like if we flip this over, which we can't because we screwed it on, every one of these heads is going in the same direction, so that you start here and you work your way out, and that way you always have an open hole. So if we needed to run another wire this way, we could drill all these holes along here and still be able to put a zip tie through without having it bunched up into the hole. So it's something to think about, and you know, yeah.
All right, Dean.
Yes.
How do I set my gains on my subwoofer amplifier without damaging my door speakers? They are running off my factory hit unit.
Ooh. And that, my friend, is the $1 million question. There is no good way to do it. Unfortunately, because you'd have to disconnect those speakers. So There's really not a good answer for that. That is one of the reasons why I do like a lot of these amplifiers that have distortion detectors built into them. But if you really, what it comes down to is you're going to have to, there's no good answer, because if you play a 40 hertz test tone and you crank it up, you're going to damage your speakers. You know, I mean, you can do it quick. Like, that's usually what happens. You just go quick, boop, and then it's like, okay, cool, we're good. But don't do it for an extended period of time. Do you know much about Moscone DSPs? That is the one DSP we have done nothing with. We haven't even looked at them. And it's, I feel bad because we want to and we've asked, but we still haven't just gotten. We've been working a deal with those guys for a while, and it's like every time we think they're going to show up, they don't. So, gonna send you a video and a few during about the process of setting gains. I found that sounding is coming from inside the amp. Is there a speaker inside? No. So, yes, your amplifier can actually make noise. That's the inside of the amplifier going, ow, quit. Or a loose part inside of the amplifier. But, yes, some amplifiers, when they will start to make noise. That is, yeah.
All right. So, Luis want to know if it's a video on you wiring
yes.
this.
It's a video, how to wire like Dean. It has 2 audio control amplifiers we did in a Jetta. It's like, I think it's called How to Wire an Amp Like Dean. I think it made it super simple and easy to find. So, yeah.
No, but if they want to know more about clean wiring, where they can find more clean wiring?
If you want to see pictures about clean wiring, funny you should ask, Fernando. Good segue. We have a new Facebook group, and that Facebook is called the 12-Volt Clean Wire Club. So if you'd like to become a member of the Clean Wire Club, which you all should want to become a member of, because there you can see all the clean wiring that is out there. There's also, there's a couple guys that have started posts on like asking questions about some of the tools they use, some of the products they use. So definitely head over there, and if you have a question, ask. The whole idea behind it is to make everyone a better wirer than they are now, and to open that discussion, because everyone does fabrication pages and all that other pretty stuff, but let's be honest, sexy wiring is sexy wiring. So we started the page, go join, we're having a good time. And then for all you guys that are asking questions, like simple small questions that you've asked in live shows like this, we also started a second YouTube page, and that is called Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. It's where we take conversations like this that are really long, we cut them into smaller segments, and we put them over there. It's on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. It'll help a lot.
It's a ton of
you guys
questions.
are doing wonderful. There's like 69 questions up there right now.
Information in there,
a lot of information up there right now, and they're all small little clips, so it's really nice. You can find that channel by doing a channel search. Don't just do a generic search; you'll never find it because we have so much other content that's under our name. But you have to do a channel search, and that is for Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips on YouTube, and of course the 12-Volt Clean Wire Club on Facebook. Can you make brackets for a 4-inch using a 2.5-inch hole? You'd have to make some kind of spacer or a funnel or something. Hey, Dean, the 4,000 watts, what second battery would you recommend? The biggest one you could fit. Okay. If you go to Stinger Electronics is what it's called, .com, or just do a search for Stinger wiring.
Stinger Electronics.
They have on their webpage where their batteries are. They have a power wire chart, so you can see, and I believe the other company that makes batteries too, they all have power wire charts. So a power battery chart. So they'll tell you if you have this much power, buy this size battery. I don't memorize it because I have a picture.
All right. So Murphy said the time alignment is confusing on the Moscone.
Yes, it is. No, it's really confusing.
Really?
It is. And that's one of those math ones. It is. It's very confusing on the Moscone.
Okay, so when I tried the Sapco DSP, that was kind of confusing too because it's like millimeters.
Moscone's is really, really bad, and you have to stack. That's why I haven't wasted any time on it, because until we get the product, there's too many other DSPs we have that I wanted to put time into. But yes, it is very confusing. You're not alone on that.
All right, Bobby want to know, Dean, the Stinger 0 gauge wire 4,000 or 6,000 blue RCAs.
I like the blue RCAs because they're coax, and I like a coax style RCA. So, like the 4000s, which are these, are coax style RCAs, and then the 6000, which we usually have sitting somewhere around here. Do you have it? Where'd you hide it? So what I mean, so this is a coax style RCA, which means they're basically tear apart. So it's one end, one wire. They're not going into a bundle here.
Right.
Even though those are pretty, both of these are a standard coaxial style. Obviously, this one is 4 times the amount of money and better. But they're both excellent cables. We use these by the boatload and never have any issues. But, you know, if we're going pretty, yeah, these. You know, this is, and the other style I'm talking about is like this, where you have this big end here. You know, they're all good cables. It's just a matter of which one you prefer. Like, this is the X series version of this cable, so it's all black. This is the X series version of this cable. And then this is like an 8000 series in the X3 line.
Mm-hmm.
But even though this, to me, is like the prettiest thing I've ever seen, in use, it drives me nuts. So,
But it's like the 9000s.
yeah, and there again,
Same thing.
awesome cable. I mean, it's basically 6 RCAs in one for a 2-channel cable. Frostbite box in the house. Woo woo woo! Check it out.
Yeah. Check the website.
But so yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. What's the T harness for a Toyota RAV4 2007 non-JBL? That's going to be on Metro, so it's going to be the Metro harness there for that one. So go to metroonline.com and grab yourself the access harness for that.
Do you always get...
Also, you know what? Oh, hold on. I think there's also a D harness for that from iData now, because I know they made 2 new harnesses that are made to go behind the radio to just plug in a DSR1 to the radio high level, and they make a Nissan one and they make a Toyota one. So you might also want to check on iData and see if they have a D cable for that. All right, go ahead.
All right. Do you always get a good signal using the output RCAs from the amp to amp? So from one amp to
from one amp to the
amp?
next?
Yeah.
I've never tested that. I've always just assumed it's a good one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good
When you EQ the sub, are you using pink noise and the RTA? If so, what's the objective with the curve? I mean, yeah, you're using pink noise for all of it, and the objective with the curve is just to have it blend in. Okay. Depends what you're trying to do, I guess would be the thing. If you're trying to make something that's sound quality all the way and not very characteristic-y, you're trying to get the subwoofer to sound like it's coming from the front of the car. So the object of the EQ is to make the subwoofer blend in with the mid bass up front. So you're going to use the EQ to fix any, dips and valleys, just like you are in the mid-range. However, most people aren't doing that. Most people want a subwoofer that is a subwoofer, meaning big bass coming from the back of the car, rattling everything. If that's the objective, that's what you're using the EQ for, is to help, there again, smooth it out, make it sound fat if it needs to sound fat. Don't need a lot of adjustment on EQ. I'm not going to lie. We don't go crazy. We don't spend a lot of time on it. And there again, if it has something like a punch EQ or some kind of harmonic something to it, a lot of the times all we use is that because it's going to do what we want. You don't have to spend a lot of time on the subwoofer unless you're trying to get the subwoofer sounding like it's coming from the front of the car and all like it has, like the mid bass and the woofer are one, and that big bass is coming from the front.
This is a good question.
Go ahead.
Why are the tweeters on some coaxials are wired backwards, like out of phase?
Because it's a 12 dB slope, and what you have is there's an issue with 12 dB slopes where they cross over, meaning where the crossover point is on the two of them. And what happens is you get a 180 degree polarity shift. Okay, so the tweeter, or I'm sorry, what you get is you have to flip the tweeter 180 degrees in order to fix the dip that happens at the crossover point. So you can get up to a negative 3 dB dip from the tweeter in mid-range there at that crossover point, which is a ton of volume. In order to combat against that, you flip the tweeter out of polarity with the mid-range, and when you do that, it fixes that phasing problem there, and there's polarity and phasing. One has time, one has wiring. Either way, it fixed that dip at the crossover point so that now you have a nice smooth transition between the mid-range to the tweeter, and it doesn't come along like this and then go like this. It just comes along, and sometimes you'll get a 1 dB gain there, and sometimes you'll get a negative 1 dB gain, but it's a hell of a lot better than a negative 3 dB loss.
No.
So that's why you do that.
How do you check them?
How do you check for that?
Yes.
You'd have to have an RTA, and you'd have to be playing it and see if it's getting that. See if you're getting that loss at the crossover point.
How do you polarity checker
Oh, how do you polarity check your tweeter? Good question. Tweeters are tough. So like a lot of the times you can just use a 9-volt battery and go to town and call it a day. However, that's not good on a tweeter because you physically can't see a tweeter move. So there are a couple different things. Like this is the little guy we use here. You can pick these up on Amazon for like $15. Obviously not with a 5-star sticker. It looks more like this. And what it'll do, and these are okay. And you can go to iTunes and you can download the My Disc track that says Polarity Pulses. And this will make that tick, tick, tick that you hear in all our videos. And what we're doing is we're metering to see if this is going red or if this is going green. And there again, we meter each speaker. So if the mid-range are all positive and the tweeter is negative, and we don't have a phasing issue that we're hearing, we leave it alone. If it's up in the dash or it's over in the corner and like the tweeter being out of polarity, because there again, distance can put it back into polarity. So sometimes we'll rewire them so that everything plays in phase and we don't have any issues there. We're not noticing any signal loss. So that's where it gets kind of tricky. Mobile Solutions make this guy here. This is a little bit more accurate. However, it is a lot more expensive. It has a little green and red light right here. And then the ultimate tool is this one, which is the PT9A. What's nice about this guy is this also generates, so you turn it to on, and you can hook these test leads up to it, so when you're on the bench, you can physically test the speaker. There's a little microphone here on the end. So one or all of these tools is what's designed to make your life easy. Now, there is another tool put out by Studio 6, which is called Speaker Pop. Is it called Speaker Pop? Do you have it on there?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, hold on. This is for iPhone only, so it's called Speaker Pop. And what Speaker Pop is you can plug it into the aux jack. It won't work over Bluetooth, apparently. I've never tried it that way, but you plug it in your aux jack, and you can use the microphone on your phone to test it. So like if you have like a 10-foot aux jack, you can just press play on this. It'll pop through your stereo. You put this next to the speaker, and it'll do plus or minus. This one is okay. It's kind of, it works, but it's like pop, 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 pop. It goes really fast. So we prefer to use this and one of these tools here.
I'm on point today.
Way to go, Fernando, with the show and tell. All right, and after that big show and tell, I think we're going to call it because we got to get back to getting this car put in and getting it done so we can hopefully get it done today because there's a video I want to film tonight before we leave.
The Facebook page.
Facebook page is 12-volt
Clean Wire Club.
Thank you, 12-volt Clean Wire Club. And then the YouTube channel is Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. All right, guys, go subscribe. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Yeah, no, it's Friday.
Oh, my God.
I know, don't get me wrong. I thought yesterday was Wednesday, too. Today's Friday because I got home and Haley was like, then you guys take out the trash. And I was like, wow, because tomorrow's Thursday. I was like, she's like, you're an idiot. Tomorrow's Friday.
Wow, that's insane. So every Friday, Sebastian has a pizza day. So you don't have to take lunch.
You gave him lunch anyways?
And I gave them lunch today.
Wow, way to be in touch.
I was thinking that Thursday.
That's okay. Well, hey guys, how's everybody doing? So the STI Subaru is done. We're getting ready to pull it out. It's actually, you good there, Woody?
Yeah.
It's actually been done for a while. We had another job we had to do. We worked on it outside because it is a beautiful day, and we wanted to be able to come in here and show you guys this. It's all back together. Hey, let me see if I can open the trunk easily. Hold on. No, hey, can you press the button on the key fob? Thank you. So in the back, we have the battery located. The wire this is his extra wire so that he can take the box out without actually having to disconnect it if he wants. We've put a piece of plastic back here to keep the box from sliding. So now it's caught between the back of the car and the amp rack. So we don't have to worry about his aggressive driving just totally destroying this woofer, because obviously you're not putting a grill on this thing. But the battery is mounted in place. As I was talking about the other day, as you can see, the carpet tongues up underneath this, so you don't have to worry about seeing any gap or anything like that. The fuses are all mounted. The wires sneak off into the cubby here. The ground does the same thing. So those are all. And then we put the covers back over them. That way, when it's just sitting back here, you don't have to worry about it. But if you need to do any maintenance, like charge the battery or something, you still have a full battery post that you can connect to. And then coming inside of the car, we have, of course, the subwire. These were the little corner brackets we talked about making. So we routed out 2 holes here, and then the 0 gauge goes up along and zip ties into place. And of course, you guys saw this the other day where the 4 gauge is actually the riser for the 0 gauge. It's all done up, and then there's a riser for the 4 gauge there, and then all the wires. And then we have the same hole over on this side. The wire goes in, and that's pretty much it. So this is all set and ready to go. You got your SCAR system. The tweeters, I don't know if I showed you the finished tweeters, but I have a picture of them I'm gonna put up. But the tweeters are flush mounted up into the dash here, those big Neo tweeters, dropped right in. We had to make some laser mounts and some spacers. We needed like 1-inch spacers for those to make sure that they were flush mount. I'm gonna post a picture up of those later today, hopefully. And by later, I probably mean like really later. But let me close the trunk. And we can't play it for very long, but we'll go ahead and play it for a second. And it's really loud, and actually I'm kind of pleased with it. It has the DSR1 in it, so we did a tune on it, and it's pretty nice.
Right here.
You're just gonna bring it all the way up and drop it?
Yeah, I'm gonna
drop it while it's hot?
I'm going to drop it.
Okay. Go ahead. And right into a guitar solo. There you go. But that's it. It's done. What's up, Anthony Audio Systems over there in Cali, where apparently nothing's open. Nothing's open anymore, guys. So
Really?
make sure there's nothing anymore to do. So we can't watch sports. We can't go to Disney. Did you see where Orlando closed Disney?
Yes.
So I'm sure SeaWorld's next
Yes.
if it wasn't already closed.
Crazy.
Yeah, so you might as well cancel your hotels now.
So anyway, if you guys don't
Oh.
got nothing to do, bring your car. We're gonna be open.
Oh, I'm looking at myself. I switched it over to you. I don't want to look at me.
Anyway, yeah, just bring your car. We're gonna be open. So,
Well, you know, and according to Jeff Smith, bass cures the coronavirus.
let's play it.
So,
Yeah. So that's it.
yeah. So we have all his old equipment stacked up all here and ready to
A
go.
lot of people ask, what do you guys do with the speakers?
Yep.
And amplifiers, and why are they that we took?
So he gets all his old wire back. All his old speakers are in those boxes there. In case you were wondering what speakers he went with, he went with these guys here in the doors. We did have a little bit of trimming we had to do just because they have those giant compression speaker things, so we had to make room for those.
Yeah.
No coronavirus in northern Mississippi or Minnesota. Plenty of
I'm
stereos
going
to
to
do. Yeah. South Africa in the house. What's going on? We started selling toilet paper. That's Anthony. Trying to add a sub to,
Sanitizer?
yeah, to 2015 Ultima factory head unit. Which OEM interface? 2015. I mean, honestly, all you need is a T-harness. If you're just adding a subwoofer, though, I would just tap off the rear speakers. You don't need to go crazier if you're just adding a sub. Just grab it off of the rear speakers and you're good to go. If it's the base model, the front and the rear play the same. Kicker key lock testing. No, we've been really backed up, and we haven't had a chance to do it. So we're trying to get to it. And actually, we got another car to do. I just wanted to come out and show you guys this because we've been talking about it for 3 days, and it needs to leave here. And that was it. We just wanted to come on and show you this. We'll probably come on later today, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But for right now, that's it. I'd like to stay and answer questions, but we got another car to do.
That's right.
So what's up in Tijuana?
Tijuana.
See you guys.